50, 45, there goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow! Oh my God! Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome on in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 427. Today is Monday, August 5th, 2024. As always, we are presented by Viva Tequila. A little more on them in just a little bit. E, how you doing today, kid? How was your weekend?
Dill, it was a great weekend. I want to say happy birthday to like a mother figure, Jesse. Always been there for me, so happy birthday, Jesse. And I want to give a shout out to my boy's son, Aaron. His 4th birthday was yesterday. So other than that, it was just a nice chill weekend. It was hot as hell yesterday. Today, it was better. It was better, Dill. Other than that, great weekend.
Yeah, it was a little hot today, and thankfully we got some rain. First time in a while, I thought, over here on the East Coast. But good to have you. Got a good episode today. We will start the AFC West, Chiefs and Chargers. Got some NFL news we'll talk about as well. USA men, they beat Puerto Rico over the weekend. They get the number 1 overall seed, so they advance over there. We'll take a look at the Olympics, how they're doing. 9 games here on the MLB for Monday. And then maybe we'll dive into some basketball towards the end. But let's start in the NFL. Another contract signed, a wide receiver, but it is not CeeDee Lamb. Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins, they reached an agreement on a kind of a restructure agreement, $90 million over the next 3 years. That includes $65 million guaranteed. No new years were added to the deal, but Tyreek Hill, $106.5 million guaranteed over the next 4 years, is the most ever for a receiver in NFL history, man. Well deserved.
Yeah, we just saw Tyreek Hill get voted by his peers the best player in the NFL. He was voted number 1 in the top 100
You
players
agree?
list. Off of last season, yes.
Yeah.
How many times did I say Tyreek Hill is my MVP?
Yeah, a lot.
I said that. I said if I had a vote, it was either Tyreek Hill or Christian McCaffrey, just because Christian McCaffrey did so much, and to me, he elevated the 49ers. To me, Tyreek Hill elevated to not just the Miami Dolphins, also Tua. I think Tua had a great season, not just because of Tyreek Hill, but he had a great season, and Tyreek had a great season. But I think he elevated Tua's play. So, in my opinion, I think Tyreek Hill had the best season, like single season wise, last season by any player. Regular season. Playoff time, Mahomes and Kelsey did their thing. I'm not going to front, but I think honestly, yeah, Tyreek Hill definitely had the best regular season last year.
Yeah, over 2,000 yards. The guy was a beast. Yeah, I would agree. I have no qualms about that. But yeah, I think he deserves the contract. I think he's arguably, not Justin Jefferson, maybe the second best receiver when healthy in the league. And, the Dolphins, they've locked up their foreseeable future, and their quarterback, Tua, just got paid through 2028. Jalen Waddle's under contract through 2028. And now Tyreek Hill is under contract till 2026. So the time to win in Miami is now, kid. Can they do it with these pieces?
I tell you what, though, they definitely have a window. We saw them make improvements on the defensive side of the ball. Key pieces there. We see they got Tua, they got Waddle, they got Tyreek all on their contract for these next 3 to 4 seasons. Still, can they get it done? I like Mike McDaniels. I think he's an above average head coach. To me, he's an offensive, I'm going to say mastermind. I want to say a genius yet, but definitely a mastermind in the running game, Dill. I give him a shot in the next 3 seasons. I want to say this season, we'll see how things go. I just feel like right now the AFC is just loaded. You could go from, the Chiefs all the way down to even your Jets still, even the Steelers, the teams that's going to be the wild card teams or whatever. The AFC is just so deep and they're so good. Like, you got the Bengals, you got the Ravens, you got the Chiefs, you got the Bills, you got your Jets in there, you got Miami. It's so deep. And then you got the AFC South, you got the Texans, you got Jacksonville might be something. Who knows? It's tough, but I give Miami definitely a shot to at least reach an AFC championship, if not possibly make a Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 seasons. I give them a shot to, yeah.
The key to that is they need to be able to win in the cold and get a number 1 seed
or
or get a
just
1
get the
seed.
number 1 seed. You know,
Yeah, because I mean, the numbers are just staggering when Tua and this team plays in the cold as opposed to playing at home. So we'll see. But I agree. I think the window is within the next 3 years, but the AFC is a
and
gauntlet
real
right
quick
now.
on Tyreek Hill contract. Hopefully, this provides some type of like clarity for other teams and in players. Like, look, Tyreek Hill had almost 2,000 yards receiving. He had one of the best seasons. He was voted the best player in the NFL on his peers, and this guy just took $30 million. CeeDee Lamb, you was not voted best player by your peers. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk. You was not voted the best player in the league, voted by your peers. That's an argument I could bring to the negotiation table. Like, you know what? Tyreek Hill is voted the best wide receiver in football, best player in football. He got $30 million. I understand why you want more, but the best wide receiver in football, voted by his peers, got $30 million. I think you should be around like 28.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see a deal or two get done. In these upcoming few days. I understand this coming weekend, but hopefully by Wednesday. Because still, what's coming up this weekend? First week of preseason. So
Yeah.
I guarantee if a quarterback or just the offense doesn't look good in one of these first quarters, we're gonna see a wide receiver get signed immediately the following week.
We are just 5 weeks away from football. I mean, I cannot wait for Red Zone or whatever it's called nowadays. I feel like it's something new every year, but yeah, just a few weeks away. And yeah, like you said, man, first week of preseason is upon us. So time is time is of the essence, I'll say, for a couple of these teams and players, but we'll see who budges first. But let's go over to the Olympics real quick. United States, they wind up beating Puerto Rico over the weekend, 104-83. They don't cover the 36.5. Game goes under the total, but Anthony Edwards, what a game from him. 26 points. He led all players of the United States. 3 assists, 3 boards as well. Embiid actually had a pretty good game, 15 points, 3 rebounds, but Jason Tatum double as well. I mean, I thought they played well, especially Jose Alvarado. He was carrying that team. I mean, in the first quarter they had the lead by 3 or 4. So, but outside of that, then they blew it open in the second and third quarter. But yeah, 0 for 3 for Puerto Rico, but 3-0 for the United States.
Yeah. Give credit to Jose. He came out gunning. He hit those couple. I think he had like 9 points in the first quarter alone. So he was giving it all. They were up in the first quarter, but USA, we keep saying it though. When that bench comes in, like that whole swapping five, Kevin Durant, Booker, Anthony Edwards, when they enter the game, it's just different. So, give credit to Anthony Edwards. He had a huge game. Like you said, Joel played game. You know who I honestly thought had a huge game finally in these Olympic run? Steph Curry. Steph Curry looked like Steph, especially in the first half. So I was glad that Steph Curry was able to get in rhythm, get a couple threes going. KD still looking like KD. We saw Steve Kerr saying that KD's probably won't start in these Olympics. And I'll be honest, the way
you don't
he's
need
throwing,
him to.
you don't need him to. Honestly,
Yeah.
I have KD be the last person off the bench because no matter how many minutes or what time you put him in the game, he's gonna get a shot. KD honestly is just a plug and play. He's just plug. He could literally play any team anywhere in the world, and he's gonna get his buckets and not interrupt the flow. So, to me, it was one of the more impressive wins from UTMC. I understand we didn't cover, but at the end of these points totals are too high anyway. We told you to take the points with South Sudan, Puerto Rico, everybody. So, give credit to USA taking business. I think we played Brazil. Tuesday?
Yeah, we play Brazil on all 14, or I guess all 8 teams play on Tuesday. Starting in the morning, Greece and Germany. Germany's 8-point favorites. Serbia and Australia. Serbia's -6.5. Canada, France. That's a good game. Canada's 8-point favorites. And then USA and Brazil were -27.
And Canada and France just played. That game went to the wire.
Yeah.
The guy shot it from half court to try to win for Germany. But Dylan Brooks played well. Shea doing his thing. Jamal Murray still hasn't really we haven't seen like playoff Jamal Murray. Wonder if we're going to see him come middle round.
Yeah, it's insane. But you mentioned KD coming off the bench. He passed Carmelo Anthony as the all-time leader in rebounds in USA basketball history. So a little milestone for KD as well. And
And he's also
longer
the
he
all-time leading scorer as well. So
exactly, and the longer he plays, the more records he's gonna break. So yeah, shout out to KD as well. And I think the matchups are really good. I think Greece and Germany really good. Canada and France really good. I mean, outside of us and Brazil, I think that they're all really good games. Serbia, Austria. I mean, everything is in single digits. The highest is Germany -8.5, but outside of that, 6.5, 8, and then we're 20 -27. But you taking the points?
to be honest, I lean it. I haven't seen Brazil play
Yeah,
once, so South Sudan. I've seen them play. They play good. Puerto Rico at times pretty good. I'm not saying they had a chance to win, but I had a feeling they could cover. Brazil, on the other hand, I did not. I haven't seen one dribble of Brazilian men's
yeah.
basketball. So
I mean, they got to be good. They made it to the top, Elite Eight.
yeah, they won what, 1 or 2 games at least. So we'll see.
Yeah. We will see. But United States, as for the Olympics, we are blowing the competition away. 71 total medals. Next closest is China with 45.
Yeah, but we tied with the gold now. We not
19
really.
and 19. But yeah, but overall, we're doing much better than
Yeah, but
everyone else.
it's going under 44.5. It's going under.
Under gold?
Yeah, remember the over under was 44.5.
Or I thought it was the total goals, but it was gold medals.
Yeah, gold.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that is definitely going under. I don't know. What do we got? About another week or so for the rest of the games?
I
So
think
we'll
next
see.
week and next Sunday ends, I think.
All right. Well, before we get into all that and two-a-days for AFC West, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. They even have a new flavor, coconut light, 4.5 ABV, only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar. It's the perfect drink for your post-game celebration. It was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or the new flavor coconut watching the Olympics, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with the Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Two-a-days continue. AFC West. I was gonna start with the Chiefs, but you know what I said? There's not much we could talk about. We already previewed Justin Herbert getting injured. There's not much we could talk about for the Chargers, so we will start in LA. I mean, not a lot to talk about, I think. Super Bowl 40-1. I'm not touching that. To win the AFC 21-1. Not touching that. They have the second best odds, though. A rebuilding kind of division, I would say. Plus 350. I mean, if I'm going to take a shot with them, I'm going to need a hell of a lot better of a price. So I'm not going to touch that. Their win total is at 8.5, -144 towards the over, plus 118 towards the under. They are favored in 9 games. They're underdogs in 8 games. 2021, they went 9-8. 2022, 10-7. They had a down year last year, just 5-12. They had injuries. Coach wasn't really their thing as well. No quarterback props because of Justin Herbert's injury. No running back props either. No wide receiver props. I mean, there's really nothing to really talk about. I will say I like some of the moves we did. Well, first we'll start on the win total. It's 8.5. -144 towards the over, plus 118 towards the under. They have the second easiest schedule amongst the league. Like I said, they're favored in 9 games. Do you think they could have a bounce back season this season?
I definitely will have a better season than a 5-win, win total. But to be honest, they improved at the head coach position. I think Jim is going to be solid head coach in the NFL. We saw what he was able to do in San Francisco about a decade ago. We saw what he was able to do in Michigan, turn that program around. And I have no doubt he'll be a successful head coach still. But everywhere else, they downgraded. The running back room. I understand. I like JK and I like Gus, but I don't think they're going to be able to replace the productivity also Eckler, provided in the run and receiving game. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, those are going to be huge, huge shoes to fill. I like Joshua Palmer. I like the kid, Lad McCunney. He's okay. DJ Chalk. He's not a world mover. He doesn't wow me. So I just don't love the offense of this team. I love Justin Herbert. I think he's great. I think he has a talent to be something special in this league for years to come. But you got to surround the kid with something. And the fact that you took away, well, you didn't take away, but he wasn't able to resign or restructure a deal with Keenan Allen, who honestly had one of his best seasons of his career last year. Even though he's in the back end of his prime, he had a great season. I just don't see how this team is going to be better than what we understand. They were loaded with injuries last season, but I just don't see the team on paper better than it was last season. So I don't see it being much better even than the 22 season, though. So the wide receiver core worries me. The running back room, not too worried, but it's not like elite. And then as of right now, Justin Herbert is hurt. He's not healthy. I'm curious to see what's gonna be his status in a couple of weeks, because like I said, it's the bottom of his planting foot. If it was like his left, toe or something like that, I wouldn't be as worried about it. But when you have a injury that could possibly linger throughout the season, this close to the season, on the bottom of your right foot, that could be a problem, Bill. So that's my main concerns for the team. Who's gonna step up and fill the shoes of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams? Is it gonna be Joshua Palmer? I like Joshua Palmer. It's gonna be Quentin Johnson. I like Quentin Johnson, but as of right now, Dale, we gotta be honest. He's looking like a bust. He's looking like a bust as of right now. He underperformed last season. I understand Easton Stick played majority of the games, but you had to give us something more. So besides Joshua Palmer and possibly, Lad, I honestly don't see real threats on this offense.
I actually like what they did in the draft. I like to pick up some of them. Will Disley, okay. I do like Bud Dupree. I think he's gonna start. I think he's really good off the edge. I like what they did in the draft, getting Joe Alt at the offensive line. Lad McConkey out of Georgia. I think he's a great slot receiver. I gotta go over. Did you get a prediction, or you're just not gonna touch the win total?
I don't see it. I'm going under.
Okay.
And a half. Don't get me wrong. Strength of schedule wise, I counted 9.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I do like the over. All I'm saying is, if I'm putting money on it, I'm going with the under, just because from what I see right now, I don't like the wide receiver core. I don't like the running back group. Don't get me wrong. The strength of schedule, works in their favor, Dill. But as of right now, they have a hurt quarterback. We don't know what his status is going to be week 1. We don't know what's gonna happen. So I gotta go by what I saw. Don't get me wrong. Jim Harbaugh is a major upgrade over Stanley. I can't say that enough. Can't stress enough. That will be a major upgrade. But
I mean, it's everywhere though. I feel like they upgraded in coaching. I mean, you get Jim Harbaugh as a head coach.
Coaching staff, yes, but from the talent perspective on the offensive side, you got at least admit they dropped.
I'll say this: they're ranked 6th in quarterback room. I think the only place that they're bad is receiver, and they're ranked 25th running back room. I'm a little higher on their running back room than I think most, but their receivers and running back room is bottom tier. It's weak. But their offensive line, they have a top 15 offensive line. They're going to run the ball. That's what they're going to do. Jim Harbaugh is known for that. They bring in Greg Roman as well, offensive coordinator from the Ravens. He's going to run the ball. And I get it. You have Justin Herbert and you want to use his arm, but it's exactly what you mentioned. Who you throwing the ball to besides Quentin Johnson and Lad McConkey? I mean, Joshua Palmer. I mean, I guess you're a little higher on Joshua Palmer than I am, but I don't trust him either. I mean, I think you mentioned it. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, losing those two I just don't know how they let them at least both walk out the door. But they have a game plan what they want to do. Like I said, I think their running back room actually got better. Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, it's a nice 1-2 punch. Both guys, they're durable. They're workhorses. Yes, J.K. has a history of getting hurt, but not Gus Edwards. I think they're going to help this new coaching staff. Last time Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman coached together with the 49ers, they ranked 30 in drop back rate and 31 in passer rating per game. they're not going to throw the ball. I guarantee you they're not going to throw the ball this season. Not as much, especially with the unknown, the injury. How hurt is Justin Herbert? Can he come back and be Justin Herbert that we've known? Perfect. But if he can't, they're going to run the ball, especially when he gets back, man. So
one thing is concerning is, you always got to understand we bet to beat Vegas, but sometimes you got to trust Vegas as well. There's a reason why Justin Herbert props ain't up. There's a reason for that, because I guarantee they'll, if it's like let's just say if it's 4,200, and we all know it's the injury is more worse than it was. He coming off an injury last season. He's most likely gonna miss some time due to that injury, though. So I have a feeling it's possibly worse than we been reported. Let's just say that. I think it's honestly worse than it's been reported.
And like you said with Vegas, that's why I think the number is favored towards the over, because they have such a favorable matchup. They should win these games.
They should.
I also
healthy.
Yeah,
they should.
And I also like what they did in the draft. I mentioned it earlier, drafting Joe All. I mean, they built that offensive line. They get Ladd McConkle in the slot. That's going to help the wide receivers that they lost. Obviously, you can't replace him, but he's been very impressive this training camp so far. And like I said, I think they're just going to run the ball. They're going to play defense. They're going to face the defenses that they're going to face, sixth easiest rushing defenses as well. So they're going to have success running the ball. I think fantasy-wise, picking up Gus Edwards is definitely a move for me. I would lay off Justin Herbert for right now. But the only guys I think that are valuable for fantasy-wise is Gus, JK, and Ladd McConkle. But outside of that, nothing really effective. I mean, the only props that we have, I'm going to be on the over, by the way. But Coach of the Year, he's the favorite. Jim Harbaugh at plus 900. I mean, I hate to admit it, but the guy's a winner. If he goes out there and has, I don't want to say 2022 when they went 10-7, because I don't think they'll win 10 games, but a 9-8 season. Yeah, I don't think he'll make the playoffs at minus 140. I'm not going to touch that. But I think if he has a nice bounce back season above 500 in his first year, I think there's a big argument for Jim Harbaugh. He's a winner. Like you said, no matter where he goes, I'm not the biggest Jim Harbaugh guy, but he's a winner. And you got to respect it. Wherever he goes, he's a winner. So at plus 900, I think it's worth a shot, kid. I really do.
I don't think so, just because it's the first year. I don't expect much from this team this season. Maybe if they added, a true, maybe if they traded for Stephon Diggs, maybe something like that. I'll be a little more hype on them. I would like them more, but I just don't see this Chargers team, doubling up their win total from last season. I just don't see that. Yes, they're gonna be better than they were last season, just because of health reasons. But let's just say Justin Herbert isn't. I just don't see it happening, though, honestly. I don't see much improvements. Don't get me wrong, I like the draft pick Joe Alt. That's honestly the one positive besides Justin Herbert on the offense that I'll be like, yeah, that could possibly be a difference maker. I understand these players are nice, but are they going to be difference makers? Keenan Allen, difference maker. This wide receiver core, I don't see a difference maker.
All right, so Coach of the Year then, Jim Harbaugh plus 900. You got Matt Eberflus at 10-1. Coach of the Chicago Bears, Raheem Morris, 12-1 with the Falcons. Matt LaFleur, 13-1. D'Amico Ryans, 14-1. And Shane Steichen at 14-1 as well. Maybe Shane Steichen's worth a little bone.
Colts are live. Colts are live. If they win 10 games, he might get some consideration. I think Antonio Pierce, I think he's at plus 3,000. I think it's worth a ticket on him.
Nice little long shot.
Yeah, we saw the improvement. He was a winning head coach as soon as he stepped on as the interim head coach. Still, he was a winning head coach. So if we just parlay that into this season, let's just say they go 9-8. I think he'll be in consideration.
How about Ladd McConkle? Most receiving yards for a rookie. He has the third best odds at plus 850. I think it's a little value. I mean, I like the kid a lot. I think, especially early on, if Justin Herbert doesn't start, I think Easton Stick is going to just give him the ball. I mean, that's what you want. You want a nice, fast receiver when paired up in the slot against on the outside of like a 6'4" Quentin Johnson. I mean, that's what you want. All the pressure is going to be on Quentin Johnson, and he's going to go under the radar. I mean, the kid is good in Georgia. I like the kid. He ran a 4.39, and I think he's going to see more playing time than DJ Chalk, if I'm being honest. So I think there's some value there at plus 850, but that's really all we have, kid.
Yeah, you know, I highly doubt he'll lead all rookies. Don't get me wrong, Justin Herbert has the gun for it, but I agree with you, Dill. I think they're gonna run the hell out of the ball. They're gonna be see the defense control, be a pretty good defense to see if they could control time of possession and run the ball. But I just don't see him in anything. I'll lean like Malik Neighbors. Maybe I think he'll be the number one option for Daniel Jones. Marvin Harrison, honestly, Dill, he's gonna be the number one option there. So I think it's to lead all rookies. I think it's tough. Can he have a good season? Absolutely, but to lead, I don't know. I just feel like there's other receivers in better situations. Like he's possibly gonna be the third option. Maybe he ups to the 2 midway of the season. But to start the season, Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors, those guys are most likely going to be the number one options for their teams.
And also watch out for Keenan Coleman, Bills. He has Josh Allen and also Xavier Worthy, which we'll talk about in just a little. I mean, I can't believe they were able to let him. That's we could do a whole podcast on how they were able to get him. But let's go on over to the Chiefs because there's a much more to talk about. Super Bowl 600. They're tied for first. AFC plus 350. They have the best odds as well. Minus 230 to win the division. AFC West at minus 230. I'm going to take that. Win total 11.5 over minus 118 towards the under minus 104. They're favored in 15 games, only underdogs in 2 games to make the playoffs. Minus 500, which they all will make the playoffs. And then if they think they're not going to, plus 360. They've won back-to-back 2022. They went 14-3. Last year, I'll say regular season, they hit a little speed bump. I mean, we even talked about it on the pod saying, hey, they were on the outside. They were like 8-5 at one point, and we were like, are they going to not make the playoffs? And then here comes Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and they just wind up winning the Super Bowl again. So, we'll start there, kids. Super Bowl plus 600.
It pains me to say this, though, but I think it's worth a sprinkle. I don't think they're going to three-peat, but you got to give them a chance. We can't deny Patrick Mahomes is honest. I understand Tyreek Hill got voted by his peers, but Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. In my opinion, that makes him the best player in the NFL. Andy Reid has just been coach. He's been coaching his ass off these past, honestly, the last 4 or 5 seasons. He's been coaching his ass off, to be honest. That defense, I understand they lost Snead, but Chris Jones might be one of the best players in all of football right now. What he's been doing come playoff time is just he's a different animal. We saw it, though. Even going back to the week on the last season, that defense was a different defense season on that we saw week 1 against the Detroit Lions. Chris Jones is that defense. So Steve Spagnuolo still calling plays. Travis Kelce still there. Isaiah Pacheco still going to be running the ball hard. And I could honestly say,
don't forget Matt Nagy on offensive coordinator now.
I'm going to forget him. I could honestly say with all the, let's just say, off-season issues, I think the wide receiver room got better, Dill. So, with all that being said, Dill, I think it's worth a sprinkle plus 600 on the Super Bowl. I got to give them a sprinkle at plus 350 for the conference. I can't deny the greatness. I can't deny it. I hope none of it happens. But for the listeners out there, I just got to be real with y'all. The Chiefs are just the best team in football. So
they have been.
Yeah, I'm going to go under 11.5 wins, though. I'm going to go under 11.5 wins. I do think they win 11 games. But to win 12 games, I counted 11 twice, 12 once. So I'm going to go under, though. I'm going to go under just because 11 and 5 is still a successful season. Possibly even get them the number 1 seed. Possibly. So I think the Chiefs will be just fine. Give me the under 11.5 wins, and I think it's a sprinkle on the conference and Super Bowl. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope the chance for a three-peat is out the window first round, but I can't deny that it could possibly happen.
Yeah, to get the number 1 seed plus 390. I would need better odds for that. I am going to take them to win the AFC at plus 350, plus 600 to win the
I hope
Super.
you're wrong, Dylan. I hope you're wrong.
Plus 600. I'm going to need a better number, and I think we can get a better number in season because if they do struggle like they did last season, we're going to get a much better number.
Even if they lose
season.
week 1 against Baltimore,
yeah,
I guarantee they'll jump to plus 1,000.
I'm gonna obviously gonna make them to make the playoffs at plus 500. I'm gonna go over 11.5 wins. You know, despite, like I said, not having the best regular season, they still won the Super Bowl. They were 8-5, not playing well, and they showed us never doubt me. Talking about Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Don't ever doubt me, especially when you have the best quarterback and the best coach in the league. Whenever you have Patrick Mahomes on your team, you're going to have success, regardless of where you are in the season. That's why I can never count them out. They have the 12th easiest schedule as well. So middle of the pack. I loved what they did in the offseason for their offense, getting Hollywood Brown, drafting Xavier Worthy. They're going to help stretch the field down the field with the play action. Patrick Mahomes is going to let it fly. Last season, Mahomes was 28th in passer rating on throws 10 yards or more. With these two additions, Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown, they are going to have so much more success.
Let's not forget, people, the amount of drops we saw from this Kansas City wide receiver core the first, 10 to 12 weeks of the season. They cleaned it up on the back half when they started putting it together.
Yeah.
But let's not forget the amount of drops we saw the first 8 to 10 weeks of the season. So, and real quick, though, you just alluded to the key additions they made to the wide receiving crew, right? They just came off a fucking Super Bowl and they improved their team. That's what I mean about the Chargers, still. That's why I'm not too high on them, just because you look at the Chiefs. They won the Super Bowl. And I think you would even agree with me. I think the wide receiver core is better this year than they were last year. The Chargers took a step back, and they didn't do shit. That's my thing. What confuses me? You know, the Chiefs are out to make a dynasty. They're out here to do it again. And to me, they got better. So
yeah,
you gotta give credit to them.
Yeah, I mean, their only off-season accusations were 3 guys, but 3 of them I think are very key to the success. Marquise Brown, you get a backup quarterback in Carson Wentz, who at one point was an MVP candidate and let his team down all the way. And then Irv Smith Jr., a backup tight end. They also drafted a tight end, Jared Willie, out of TCU. So they're starting to prepare for the end. I mean, we heard rumblings last season about Travis Kelce. If they hypothetically three-peat, why wouldn't he go off into the sunset? He's already a Hall of Famer. There was rumors that he wants to go get married. Like, go do what you want to do with T Swift. But, like, they're preparing, you know. And I also like what they did. They got Xavier Worthy in the second round. They actually drafted 3 offensive tackles and an offensive guard. So they're smart. They already have a top 5 offensive line. They are protecting their goal mine and Patrick Mahomes. Right now, they're ranked in their positional rankings. They have the number 1 quarterback, number 1 head coach, number 5 offensive line, number 16 receiving room, front 7, 8th, secondary 12th, and they lost Snead. And their running back room is the worst, and it's 19. I mean, and I don't even and how many times has Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire proven us wrong? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is the last point as why I like the over, because I think we're going to see some positive regression come from there. Last year, the Chiefs were the only team since 2000 to make the playoffs with a turnover margin of -10 and a penalty margin worse than -20. They were vulnerable, but they still found ways to win. I mean, we're going to see better luck this season. We're not going to get as many penalties. And I don't think they turned the ball over too much because, like you said, they helped their receiving room. They're not going to drop the ball. Kadarius Toney might not even get on the field. I mean, no disrespect. I like Kadarius Toney, but I mean, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelce, Rashid Rice.
And I like Justin Watson. I like Sky Moore.
Yeah. I mean, you're lucky Andy Reid likes you. Because if Andy Reid didn't like you, I mean, I don't think you'd get a second chance.
Let's all be real, people. The dude did win them a Super Bowl.
Yeah. He had a great Super Bowl, actually.
Yeah, and for now, he might be returning kicks this season, and I honestly think he will be pretty damn good at it.
He's definitely an NFL caliber player, but like you said, this receiving room is crazy. and I know they're ranked 16th now, but come season when they start getting chemistry with Patrick Mahomes and they start building these numbers, they're going to turn into a top
Yeah.
10 receiving room.
And right now, we don't know the Rashid Rice situation. I understand, the
He'll probably
NFL,
get suspended a little bit.
he will get suspended. We don't know for the amount of times, but Rashid Rice, I think he'll be a better player this season than he was his rookie year. I think
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney will be better than what he was last season. It was the worst season of his career. Xavier Worthy, shit, anything he does, I think is just a sprinkle on top. Marquise Brown, this is the best quarterback he ever had in his career. He might
Yeah.
be due for a breakout season. Who knows? He has the talent. He has the speed. He might be the deep threat that replaces MVS. Still, who knows? It's just to me, there's not star studded, but this wide receiver core is pretty damn deep.
And it fits exactly what they want to do in their offensive playbook, too. That's why I think everyone is so high on them. So overall, I just think they're going to see some positive aggression and luck this year. And I think it's going to lead to more wins. I mean, if you look at the schedule, I said it, 12th easiest schedule amongst 32 teams, but all their tough games are home. Only tough road games, I would argue, you're going to San Francisco, but that's coming off a bye. Andy Reid has a whole week to prepare for you. That's going to be a game where I still think they would win that game. You're going up to Buffalo. That's tough in mid-November. That's going to be cold. And
Kansas City's cold.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the only other hard team is you got Christmas Steelers in Pittsburgh, and then you're on the road in Cleveland. But all your other home tough games, Texans, Bengals, Ravens, they're all home. So I like this team. I think they won. I counted 12, 13 games. I think they get back to their old ways, like a 12-5 year, 13-4. But I think they have a few slip ups. But this team is loaded, kid. I mean, from top to bottom. I was talking about the Browns roster. I think you could put.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna say I study, but I looked at this team, I looked at their roster, and I looked at their roster last year. I can honestly say this team might be a better team.
Yeah,
on paper.
Yeah,
on paper.
We'll see what happens with Rashid Rice and the whole suspension thing, but you got to imagine he will be suspended for a few games. But let's go to the player props because there's a lot to talk about here. But outside Patrick Mahomes,
you want to start on Mahomes and then get to the wide receiver?
Because
there's a lot. There's a lot.
And we'll start with MVP. Plus 500. He's the leader to win the MVP at plus 500. I mean, I think I wouldn't touch it just because I need more value. Plus 500, I need a nice number like what you kind of got with Lamar.
Yeah.
So not going to touch that. What do you like this or no?
No, just because one, I think, the players in the media won't really give it to him just because, he's coming back off back-to-back finals, Super Bowl MVPs, 2 Super Bowl runs. I think they'll give it to somebody. I honestly what I want is a non-quarterback to win it. So I kind of hope that happens. But I have a feeling like, I think Tua could possibly get it. If Tyreek and Waddle do their thing. I have CJ Stroud 1 ticket. I have Joe Burrow 1 ticket. So I just have a feeling it's going to be one of those names. I could be totally wrong. Patrick Mahomes will come in and get it. But I just have a feeling it's going to be one of those guys, if not somebody else who might have a surprising great season. I just feel like, Mahomes, it's getting a little old for some people, even though he's all-time great. Don't get it twisted. He should be able to win the award. I just feel like he won't get voted the award.
Now, to throw 4,000 yards, it's at minus 260. I'm going to take that. He's going to throw 4,000 yards, especially with an upgraded roster. 4,500 plus 195, some plus money. I like that as well. I know he didn't get it last year with 4,100, but it was kind of a down year. A lot of drops, like you mentioned earlier, and with a better receiving core, I think he's going to have a much better season. And I'm also going to take him to have the most passing yards at plus 650. I think he has that. I like him over 4,225.5 yards. That's at minus 112. I took him over for everything outside of touchdowns, 32.5. I just stood away from that, but I think he leads the league in passing yards. I'm going to take his over yards at 4,225.5, and for him to throw 4,500 plus.
Yeah, just to be quick, I also took over everything. And his touchdowns still. I think 32.5. Don't get me wrong. I understand he didn't go under this year, but I'm pretty sure he went over this number 5 years in his career, and I think he'd do it once again with an upgraded wide receiver core. They'll understand those drops last year were crucial. I don't expect that many drops from this team, and like I said, I think they're gonna be better. You got Xavier, you got Marquise Brown, Travis Kelsey is there. You got my boy Justin Watson. I think is solid. To me, he should be getting more play time on the field. Sky Moore, he's a pretty good guy as well. So I feel like this wide receiver core is better than what it was last season. I expect Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid to dot it up. Like you said, this team offensively didn't look as dominant as it did the previous season. We see Patrick Mahomes, he had 2 times having 5,000 plus, multiple times 45 plus. So the fact that he's only throw 27, 28 touchdowns, 4,100 yards, that's pretty damn great. But for Patrick Mahomes, that's a down year, which is nuts. So I think Patty Mahomes will go back to what we saw previous though. So
Yeah.
over 4,225 and a half. Over give me the 4,500 plus passing yards at plus 195. Sprinkle on lead the league at plus 650, and then over 32 and a half at minus 112.
It's crazy. We're talking about him having like not the best year. He still was 6th in passing yards,
Yeah.
8th in touchdowns.
That's what I said. Still great.
Yeah,
He just
I know.
wasn't 5,000 with 48 passing.
And I'll say this, he's the ultimate leader because how easy couldn't have been early on in the season when they were dropping the balls to be like, nah, my guy's got to be better. I'm putting it there. He said, no, I have to be better. I got to put it in a better position. And he took the Tom Brady route, which you want in a leader. You want your quarterback like, no, it's on me. But we all know it was the receivers.
Yeah. And I know some people out there could be like, oh, Patrick Mahomes didn't have a down year. You know what, people?
From what we're seeing, yeah, he actually did. I mean, his first year in the obviously not the one
I was gonna go there.
Yeah, 2018.
First year starting, the man had 5,100 passing yards. He did it to himself. Nobody told him to go out there first year starting, throw 51 touchdowns, go to the AFC Championship game, lose to the GOAT. Nobody told him to do that. So
he didn't have to do that. Yeah.
If his first year he did 5,100, any other year he doesn't do that, it's a down year, which it sucks because last season he was all great. I'm not going to say he had a down year, but all I'm saying, people, that's how great Patrick Mahomes is. The fact that the man was top 10 in every single category, and everybody will say he had a down year. So that's why we're taking the over, people, just because we expect to have a much better season than he was last season.
I mean, in 2022, he threw for 5,200.
I'm telling you, he did it twice. He did 4,500 plus 4 times. Like,
yeah, he's insane. I mean, and he's just getting better.
And he would have done it 5 times, but remember, he got hurt against the Broncos.
The Broncos,
doing the QB sneak.
He'll never do it again, he said.
If he doesn't do that QB sneak, that's another 5,000 yard season.
Yeah. Sad. All right, let's go to the running back. Isaiah Pacheco is RB1. He will get most of the snaps. His rushing yards, 925 and a half, minus 112 both ways. 6.5 is his rushing touchdown prime. I'm going to stay away from it because he's only gone over it once, and it was last year. Barely had 7 touchdowns. His rookie season in 2022, he had 5. But even in his rookie year, that's why I'm going to go over for his 925 and a half. Because even though I do think they're going to pass a lot, his first year in 2022, he still had 830. Last year, he went over this. He had 935. I think when it gets down into the red zone, they will run the ball. Matt Nagy, I know the weapons, and you have Patrick Mahomes. But Andy Reid and Matt Nagy like to run the ball, especially when it gets cold out. When teams come to play at Arrowhead, it's tough. You need to run the ball, punch your opponent in the mouth. And they have a top 5 offensive line. You could run behind that offensive line. So I'm going to take the over 925 yards. I think he does get another I think he takes that next step. But I'm going to stay away from the touchdowns.
Dill, I'm going to go under 825 rushing. 925 rushing. I feel like the number's too high just because we have a healthy Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I think he'll get, at least 20% of the snaps. I do think Isaiah Pacheco, rightly so, is the RB receiver 1, but let's not forget, people, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was hurt majority of last season. He came back during the playoffs late last season, and I think he will get some snaps. So I think that will just take away from Isaiah Pacheco's production just a little bit. I think he just, he carried the ball over 230 times last season. I think Andy Reid want to bring that back down so he could be healthy come playoff time because nobody in the league runs harder than Isaiah Pacheco. And if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, if I'm Andy Reid, especially if I'm Patrick Mahomes, I need that guy at 100% come playoff time. So I just feel like he'll still put up pretty good numbers, but to go over 925, he only did it once, and he had his most career touches last year. I think they bring that down just a tad with a healthy Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I'm gonna go the under 925 and a half.
All right, let's go to I know they upgraded their wide receiver room, but the only one guy you could get props on right now, outside of Xavier Worthy, rookie of the year and stuff like that. So Travis Kelce, 830 and a half receiving yards, minus 112 both ways. His reception touchdowns, 6.5, small, but he only had 5 touchdowns last season. Minus 142 towards the over, plus 112 towards the under. His reception prop, I love this one, 79 and a half. I got to take the over. I mean, he had 93 catches. He had 110 in 2022. 2021, he had 92 as well. 2020, he had over 100. I mean, he's just a reception machine. So 79 and a half is one of those numbers that's just wrong. The bookmakers have that wrong. So that's my favorite prop. Travis Kelce over 79 and a half receptions. Laying off the touchdowns, I think he could get it over. And I'm also going to go over 830. I know there's a lot of food to go around here with the Worthy, but like you said, Rashid Rice might miss some time. Xavier Worthy, I think he's good. Hollywood Brown deep down the field, but those guys aren't Travis Kelce. They don't have the chemistry him and Patrick Mahomes have. So when times get tough, security blanket, he will pass it to him. So that's why I love the receptions, and I'm going to go over 830 and a half receiving yards as well.
Yeah, they'll give me the over 830 and a half receiving yards at minus 112. Even though Travis Kelce, you could honestly say he had a somewhat of a down year. He never went under this total in his career.
Yeah.
He every single year, I think besides his first, the guy's over 900 yards, 1,000 plus. So don't get me wrong, I don't expect Travis Kelce to give me 1,000 plus, but to honestly say the first time in his career he's gonna go under this mark, I highly doubt that. So give me over 830 and a half at minus 112. I'm gonna stay away from his touchdowns just because it's a lot of mouths to feed, and I think Travis Kelce, in all realness, he's gonna get those key first downs. When it's third and long, Travis Kelce's gonna get the ball. Let those other guys get the touchdowns. I guarantee late in the game, he'll probably get the call in the end zone. But I like his yards, also like his receptions as well. 79 and a half to me is a little short. I think he's good for at least 90. We seen it year in, year out, 90 plus, 90 plus, 90 plus.
Yeah.
So I think Kelce gets that easily. And then I found Marquise Brown over under Dill. He's
okay.
750 and a half. Give me the over 750 and a half at minus 110, Dill. I said it earlier. I think he's gonna move into that MVS role. So he's gonna be the deep down the field threat until Rashid Rice is back. Small chance he might be the number one option. I understand you got Xavier Worthy there, Mark Hardman, and you got Travis Kelce, but from the wide receiver position, Marquise Brown, depending on how well he does in preseason and in camp and practice, if that connection is well, he might be getting most of the targets, at least the first couple of weeks till Rasheed Wallace is back. I highly doubt they want to give Travis Kelce a high load during that time. So I expect Marquise Brown. He's the veteran. He's been there and done that. And let's not forget, people, he is a pretty good damn wide receiver. So give me Marquise Brown over 750 and a half on minus 110.
Yeah, I would lean over. He hasn't had it in a few years. Didn't like the quarterback situation. It never felt like he was right.
Yeah,
in his last situation.
Baltimore,
No, but that's when he did have the best years. He
Yeah.
got over 1,000 because of Lamar. Let's be honest. I lean over here. What was it? 750 and a half?
750 and a half.
Oh,
It's a little
yeah.
short.
Yeah,
It's a little
I
short.
like it. Miko Hardman is not on the team anymore. It's just Xavier Worthy, Rashid Rice.
Nah, Hardman's on the team.
No, he's not. I promise you.
Nah, look at the depth chart.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. He's not signed.
Oh, he's not signed.
No.
He's on the depth chart. He's second string.
Yeah, maybe he's on practice squad. But yeah, regardless, I still think the number 750 is low. And now he has Patrick Mahomes. So just like Lamar's situation,
He might be due for a career year. He might
Yeah.
be due.
He might be. But and let's talk. I mean, the only other thing to talk about for the Chiefs, Xavier Worthy, offensive rookie of the year, plus 16 to 1. It's the fourth best odds. I mean, there's a shot. He has Patrick Mahomes. If he breaks out early in the season, I think he has a shot. Most rookie receiving yards, fifth at plus 1,400. Who knows? I
See,
think,
that's worth a sprinkle.
yeah,
You know,
14.
just because you have Patrick Mahomes. Rasheed Rice right now, big question mark. And
Yeah.
who knows, the last back half of the season, he might emerge, though. He might just take off.
Like what Rasheed Rice did.
Like Rasheed Rice did, or something like that. So who knows? I definitely give him a shot. I think it's worth a sprinkle at plus 1,400. At plus 600, plus 500, at plus 1,400. See, that's worth a shot though. And then my last play, honestly, for the Chiefs will be I'm fading them week 1. Give me the Baltimore Ravens plus 3 on the road. Worked for me last year. Don't get me wrong. I think it'll be a much better game, but I think the Ravens either edge it out, as underdogs, or at least lose by a field goal. Harriet Sputner walks it off, something like that.
All right. Thank you so much. We will finish off the AFC. Next episode, we have the Raiders and the
Raiders.
Let's head on over to the Diamond. Like I said, short slate here on a Monday, only 9 games. I got some plays I like. I didn't like Sunday's card. Kind of forced it. Had 2 plays. Went 0-2. So, yeah, I knew I really didn't like the card. I kind of just forced it just to have some action. But, Kid, I'll let you lead it off. What is your first play for Monday?
Let's start it off, Dale. 5-15 start. Your New York Mets taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Menea's on the mound taking on Palat?
Andre Palat.
Dale, give me your Mets on the road, minus 115 on the money line, Dale. To be honest, St. Louis have been playing a little better as late. I like the fact they're over 500. Possibly got a shot, to make the playoffs. Who knows? We'll see how they perform the next month and a half or so. But I'm gonna take your Mets on the road, Dale. They just been playing better ball, and on the road, I can't deny they for some reason better on the road. So give me the Mets minus 115 on the money line.
First game I am going to attack is in Cleveland. Logan Allen going for the Guardians and Zach Gallen going for the Snakes. Minus 126 for the Snakes, plus 108 for the Diamondbacks. Got him a little early. I got plus 116 for the Cleveland Guardians, excuse me. But they'll always be the Indians to me. But yeah, I mean, you can't fade Cleveland here at home. I mean, they're still one of the best teams at home. What is their record at home? 35-16 straight up. Both teams actually playing really good. Arizona 8-2 in their last 10, but still I worry about them on the road. Both teams pushing for a playoff spot, especially Arizona come here. But plus 116, I think there's value here with the home dog. For my next play, I'm going to go out to Chicago. The Cubs taking on the Minnesota Twins. Our boy Fiesta, Cedar Grove kid, Cedar Grove or Verona, one of those. He's versus going against your boy Kyle Hendricks. I'm going to take Minnesota here, minus 118. I know Fiesta's not the best pitcher, 6.92 ERA, but let's be honest, Kyle Hendricks not much better either. Minnesota winners of 4 straight. Yeah, they swept the White Sox, who, I mean, they've lost 20 games in a row at this point. They haven't won since July 10th. So yeah, they're a double-A team. But Minnesota, they're just on fire right now. Cubs still struggle offensively. I'm going to take the short price here with Twins minus 118.
I'm also taking the Cleveland Guardians. You got a better number than me. I caught it at plus 105. To me, that's the dog of the day. Don't get me wrong. Arizona have been playing better as much as of late. But like you said, the Guardians just a horse at home, and I expect to take care of business. Give me the Guardians plus 105 on the money line. As of right now, plus 110, so shop around. And then my last play of the night will be Houston, Battle of Texas, taking on the Texas Rangers. Hunter Brown on the mound versus Andrew Haley. Over on there's at 8.5. Give me the Houston Astros, a minus 126 on the money line. To be honest, though, they've just been much better in the second half of the season. To me, the Rangers have been turning off a little bit. I finally have some trust in Houston. I'm still not loving them, but I see the turnaround. I like the direction they're going, and I'm going to take Hunter Brown on the mound. Give me Houston on the money line, minus 126.
Yeah, I took Houston as well. I'm going to take a shot with them. Andrew Heaney has been really good. I know if you look at the number 4-11, it's like, oh, he lost, but he has been really good. The ERA is low. The offense just hasn't been there all season for the Rangers. So, like you said, Houston kind of turned it around before All-Star break, still playing well. I'm going to take a shot with them minus 125, but it wouldn't surprise me if Texas won. Andrew Heaney is good. Next game for me, Boston and Kansas City. James Paxton going for the Red Sox and Brady Singer going for the Royals. I'm going to take the Royals here minus 138, kid. They're just playing a little better right now. They're kind of Boston's just too up and down. They'll win one, then they'll lose. Then they'll lose 10-6, then they'll win 11-6. So they're kind of just up and down right now. And I'm not the biggest James Paxton fan. I mean, he didn't have the best game in his first start against the Red Sox, but the Red Sox do play well on the road. They actually play better on the road than they do at Fenway, surprisingly enough. But Royals are good, 36-22 at home straight up. So I'm going to take the Royals. And then my last game, I'm going to take the short number here with the Dodgers and Tyler Glasnow against the Phillies. I mean, outside of today or Sunday, Philly couldn't buy a win to save their life. They're still 2-8 in their last 10. They lost 6 in a row prior to winning on Sunday against the Mariners. I'm going to take the Dodgers here. Really good team at home. They're both teams really not playing all that well, but Dodgers still the best team, I think. And I like Tyler Glasnow much better than I do Aaron Nola. So minus 130, I think, is a short price for the better team at home. So yeah, those are my 5 plays. Elvis, good luck on the diamond. Like I said, any action for the Olympics? I was mentioning the odds a little earlier in the show, but anything you like?
Yeah, honestly, I did touch a little bit. I had to just because we in the medal round. So let me go to my notes real quick. I think I took Greece plus 8.5.
Yeah.
I took Canada plus. I want to go to
Canada's minus 8 against France.
Yeah, I took France plus 8.
Serbia's minus 6.5.
I didn't touch that one, honestly. So I took Greece plus 8.5, and I took France plus 8 as well. Don't get me wrong, I just feel Canada could win the game, but France, Landry, you gotta respect Rudy and Wemby down low. So I just have a feeling Canada's gonna, struggle a little bit in the paint. You got Northern Powell. He's solid, but I don't think he'll be able to, be a difference maker down low. So I feel like SGH, Murray, Dylan Brooks, and RJ Barrett's going to have to take control from the outside because Wemby and Rudy down low there, I think it's tough. So I think it's going to be a good game. That's why I give the defensive edge to France, and I think they keep it close.
All right. And yeah, I'm going to take the plus 27 with Brazil. I mean, the United States has shown they can't.
Honest, I'm staying away from the Brazil. Who knows? If it's a soccer, by all means. But basketball, though, against old Goat James and company, they're looking good now.
Looking good.
They're looking better. When Joel Embiid, Tatum, and Steph play good, this team is damn near unstoppable.
Elvis, thank you so much. That is going to do it. Any last words before we get up out of here? Okay, almost to 3 days. We're almost back.
We're almost back. Last few weeks. I just can't wait till September, though. Let's just get there.
Yes, sir. Let's have a great Monday. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. That is going to do it for this Monday edition of The Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, and myself, make sure you guys follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at The Dream Wager. If you missed an episode, no worries. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you're listening to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, rate, review, all that good stuff. Leave in the comments who you like as well for this upcoming season. Love to hear from you guys, but that's going to do it. Be a friend, tell a friend, and we will see you guys on Friday. Peace.